The History of Stonehenge by Hali Jackson. For my first research project, I decided to look into the mysterious history of Stonehenge. Consisting of large stones arranged in a circular form, Stonehenge is probably one of the most known prehistoric monuments. Stonehenge was constructed in between 3000 BC and 2000 BC. The site is thought to have served as a ceremonial, religious, or astronomical center. However, its exact use is still unknown. The engineering of this structure is incredibly advanced for the time period it was built in. The earliest structures near the location of Stonehenge were the Mesolithic pits. These pits date back to 8500 and 7000 BC. During this time period, the area was open and free of dense forests, unlike the surrounding landscapes of southern England, which most likely is the reason why Stonehenge was constructed in this area. By 3500 BC, the area became a Neolithic monument complex, including the Robin Hood's Ball causewayed enclosure, two Kursu monuments, and long burrows. On the left, you see an illustration of the Robin Hood's Ball. This photo is an exaggeration of the actual landmark. However, I believe that this allows us to have a better idea of what we are looking at. And then on the right is the Greater Kursus. There are two Kursus in this area, the greater one and the lesser one. The Greater Kursus is referred to this because it is the larger of the two. Both of the Kursus consist of parallel banks and ditches. Their exact role in the prehistoric landscape is unclear, but they likely held significant ritual or symbolic meaning, possibly making pathways, boundaries, or aligning with astronomical events. These features highlight the complexity and ceremonial importance of the Stonehenge area in the Neolithic period. The early construction of Stonehenge provides proof of the importance and significance of this monument. A circular inner and outer bank was built around 3000 BC. Within the ditch, there are 56 known aubrey holes or pits that possible timber structures or stones were held in. These pits were used for burials, with 64 cremations found and up to 150 individuals buried at Stonehenge, indicating that Stonehenge was the largest late Neolithic cemetery in the British Isles. On the left is another illustration of the aubrey holes within the Stonehenge, and on the right you see researchers uncovering remains and other tools that were found within the Stonehenge area. There would have been many challenges regarding the transportation of the large stones used in the construction of Stonehenge. The stones weighed over 40 tons and were likely brought in from areas 25 miles north of the Salisbury Plain, and would have had to been moved by using sledges and ropes. The stones were then most likely scattered near the chosen area for Stonehenge. The smaller blue stones were from the Presley Hills in Wales, about 200 miles away. This would have required advanced methods such as tree trunk sledges, rafts, or even supersized wicker baskets. In the 1970s, some geologists proposed that glaciers might have even transported these stones instead, depositing them relatively close to the Salisbury Plain. However, the glacier theory remains controversial among archaeologists, who question how natural forces could have delivered the exact number of stones needed to complete Stonehenge. Researchers conclude that multiple cultures contributed to the construction of Stonehenge. Stonehenge was likely started by indigenous Neolithic Argarians. The later phases of the construction most likely involved groups with more advanced tools, possibly immigrants from the European continent or descendants of the original builders. The findings of bones, tools, and other artifacts on the site supports the idea of different groups of people contributing to Stonehenge's development. And this is my works cited page.